talk about it. What's going on in the church, yeah, we talk about it. How to make money, yeah, we talk about it. Facebook, yeah, yeah. IG, Twitter, ooh, we streaming, yeah, you can catch CEOs. What can you see, Mama? Talking about the hot topics, my girl, yeah. What can you see, Mama? Talking about the hot topics.
Well, I made it. I'm here. With all that rain that's out there, I actually made it. Listen, it's your girl, Kenya C. Wheeler. Hot Topics pop-up show. And again, y'all probably saying, what is she doing? Where's she been? I haven't been here on a Tuesday night for Hot Topics in quite some time. I just want to check my sound. I haven't been here in a minute on a Tuesday night. Not that I have nothing to say. It's just I've been booked and busy. That's a blessing, right? So tonight I got an awesome show for you tonight. A lot of times, let me just say this before I get into my sponsors. Sponsors, y'all hold your horses over there. I'm still going to represent y'all. A lot of times in this industry, I noticed that a lot of people, if they're doing the same things, they won't support the same energy. Like if it's another radio host, they won't interview another radio host, or another station owner, they won't interview another station owner. And I find that very crazy. I think that there is enough people out here in this world for all of us. And I think that we can love on one another to help each other grow. And I've always been that way. I've always been that if someone is doing anything, whether they're doing the same thing I'm doing, or whether they have a radio station, or whether they have a talk show, a podcast, that I want to help them grow as well as myself. Tonight, I have a great show lined up for you tonight. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Lady. She said, no one will ever do it like you. I'm glad you know. Thank you. I feel so good. Tonight, I have two brothers that I met at one of my favorite places, Dunkin' Donuts. You know I like them. And they inspired me while I probably inspired them. They probably think that I inspired them, but they helped me out so much with just the fact that they called me, little old me, to say, hey, let's have a sit down. So again, I want to send a shout out to my guests that are coming up, and they're going to tell you who they are. And so many people have been calling me and inboxing me saying, hey, how you met them? How you know them? Listen, I met Darrel first at a party. And then I met his brother next. That's how I met him. So that's just me. But I want to give a shout out to all my proud sponsors because, you know, they pay the cost to be the boss. Sylvia Gillian Realty, Gillian & Co. She is a proud sponsor of the Hot Topics and Keeping It Real in the Gospel platform. A Natural Seal. Again, if you are into all natural products, I'm talking about all natural handmade products, contact A Natural Seal. And again, if you're looking for exposure and you're looking to grow your brand, advertise your product. Let us know over here on Hot Topics. We'll be more than happy to have you become a sponsor. Again, advertise with us. We scream exposure. I ain't gonna scream exposure because I'm on the Hot Topic side. You know, over there I'd be like, exposure. I ain't gonna do that tonight because, you know, we're on the other side. But again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to give a shout out to everyone that's tuning in. Anthony Crawford, thank you so much. Lady Elaine, Lady Gillis, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're tuning in on YouTube, thank you so much. Appreciate you for showing the love that you do. But again, without further ado, I want to bring my boys in so they can introduce themselves. Hey, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Hey, what's up, Kenya? What's going on?
I don't like the fact that y'all mic sound that good.
Hey, well, your mic sounds good on our end too.
Very good.
Man, y'all mic sounded nice over here. I'm like, whoa,
before we came on, man, we were vibing to your little intro there. You know, you had some nice music there while I was over here bobbing my head and everything, you know. You got a nice intro there.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. A gentleman actually did that for me. His name is Otis Flowers. He did that. I called him at 12 o'clock and I said, hey, Otis, I need an intro. I had called so many people. They wanted like hundreds of dollars, right? And I was like, I ain't got hundreds of dollars. I called Otis. I said, Otis, can you make me an intro? He said, what you wanted to say? I said, I don't know, just hot topics and all that. And I said, Facebook, Twitter, and everything that I said, he wrote down. And I called him at 12 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, he actually sent that to me.
Wow.
His name is Otis Flowers.
Well,
he is a gospel singer.
Give us his contact info, because we've been, trying to, and it's a lot of work to do, to work on these intros and do editing. And that's a lot of work. You really have to have a lot of time. And it's kind of tough when you're working a full-time job and you try to come in and put some work into your own business and try to learn how to do these intros and editing video. It takes time. It's time consuming. And if you got somebody like that can just jump in and put it together within 3 or 4 hours, hey man, that's a plus.
Yeah, he did it for me, and I loved him for it. It was like when he sent it to me, I'm gonna tell y'all, not everybody else. Everybody don't listen. When he sent it to me, I had just started my studio, and I had like teared up a little bit. I can't let y'all know because I'm a gangster. I had teared up when I heard it. I was like, oh my God, so I had to convert it and, upload it to the system. And I was just figuring out how to really do that, the MP4s into the system. And the first time I used it, we got so much. People were like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. Until the end of the show, I was just like, I just broke. Like, oh my God. I just like, oh my God, Otis. And I love him. He's awesome. And I always push him anytime I go anywhere. And I always tell people that is a gift. You guys know that because you're into the industry. It is Absolutely. A gift when you're able to do such. But anyway, let's get on my intro and get on to y'all intro. We need to know who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Darrell and
Wayne Adams,
and we're the Adams Brothers Podcast, and we're born and raised right here in Deerfield Beach, Florida. We were born and raised. We still live here.
Well, we were born in Fort Lauderdale, but we were raised in Deerfield.
Raised in Deerfield, been here all of our lives. We still continue to live here and active in the community.
Very active
in the community. We here, we wanted to get in, to doing some podcasting and, trying to get our message out to the people. And, how the mainstream news media, they control the narrative when they talk about things. And if they interview you and quote you or whatever, they put whatever they want in that newspaper, in that article. And they kind of control the narrative. And we wanted a way so we could like get around that and get our message out without having it being censored or cut, or edited or whatever. So we decided to start podcasting, and we didn't really know how to, start out podcasting. We watch a lot of podcasts on, online, on social media, and we kind of needed a little jump start. And that's when we kind of like reached out to you, That's how we reached out to you. And then, like you said earlier, I had already met you. I met you at a party years ago. I can't remember what a party was, but
it was Sylvia's party. It was actually a what they do at the beginning of the year, when you cut up the newspaper. What do you call it?
New Year's party?
Oh my God, I forgot the name of it. Well, I was hosting when you cut up all your stuff and you put it on the paper, and I don't know. I forgot.
Oh, you're talking about a
scrapbook. What is it called?
The dream board or something like that.
The vision board. That's what
vision
board. That's a vision board party. Yeah, it was a vision. I don't want nobody to think I was out here partying, and just no church people that's logged in. I was not at a party drinking Hennessy or gin. Right. I was at a vision board party that we have every year, and I host, and I kind of be myself because I can be myself a little more with Sylvia. And we met. So I'm gonna clear that up when I say party, because they be like, "Oh, can you be out here partying?" Right. We wasn't partying. We was at a vision board party.
Yeah. And it was a very good vision board party. I met a lot of people. We did some networking. So it was a very good, place for me to be. I met you, and we continue to, be friends and keep in touch. And hey, when I needed you, you came through and you met us and gave us that jump start that we needed. Because some people, they just not willing to help you for whatever reason. They think you're going to, I don't want him, coming in on my territory, so they're not willing to help you. And I was telling my brother, I was like, I called Kenya, and right away she said, come on, let's meet. And you did. You met us at Dunkin' Donuts, and you gave us a lot of good advice.
Yes.
And we took that advice, and we started podcasting, and here we are right now.
And do you think?
And for me in 2016, I'm always on the internet. I'm always reading books, and I was on the internet looking at a lot of people on the internet with a message, and I seen that a lot of people were gravitating towards some of those people. And some of the people I listened to, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm into a lot of Black empowerment things. So I just, at that time, I had a vision of me and my brother, because I knew that we wanted to do a lot of things here in Deerfield for the community. My family, my dad has always been involved in with the community here, and that always has been something that has been in the Adams family. So my dad, as far as was in the Little League football, but I wanted to do something different, carrying the message, because I know the people here in my district here where we live at are over-policed and underserved. So I knew that the city officials, the city commissioners, was not doing anything. So I just started compiling microphones. Even though they wasn't the right microphones, I just started putting things together and just had a vision. And me and my brother just kept talking and talking. And, like Darrell said, it was like trying to find the right people to help us. It was like no one wanted to help us. And Darrell, introduced me to you, and it was like you were the turning point that got us off the ground and running, and we appreciate that, and I thank you very much for that.
You're very much appreciated, very much.
Thank y'all. Y'all trying to make me, don't be trying to make this gangster cry.
No, but that's the truth. We keep it 100. We keep it 100. You helped us, and again, I worked at another radio station, and I reached out to the owner, and I was trying to get some pointers from that person, and it was like I got snubbed every time I tried to ask, and I didn't get much, help. And I don't know why us Black people are like that. We're not willing to help each other, like that crab in the bucket syndrome. Like, they want to, like, you're trying to make it out and they're trying to hold you down, and I don't know, for some reason, we couldn't get people to help us, and then again.
And it was during a pandemic too, so
yeah, it was.
I want to be fair.
Yeah,
it was also during a pandemic, but the phone still worked, video chat still worked, and we just couldn't get anyone to help us. So it was like we went out on our own, and we spent a lot of money on just what you told us not to do.
Trial and error.
Mm-hmm. We went and did it, but I'm glad because I have that stuff now, and it can be used for other purposes besides this.
That's right.
But we invested a lot of money in where we are right now. We invested a lot of money, over $10,000 so far, and we're not finished because our vision is we like to get cameras, like when something happens, we like to be there just like cameras. The news, covering the story from a different perspective than what the mainstream media is presenting.
A black media perspective.
Yes.
Do you think, and I want to get to that, do you think that we as the people um, feel that is we want to help you to a certain extent, is that we don't want you to surpass us? I just feel like sometimes that people want to help you to here, and then they don't want you to go above them. They want you to stay right here. Do you feel that way in this industry that we're in, or do you think that they just don't want to help you at all?
I felt that way, and I shared that with my brother. I was like, again, everybody I turned to that I knew that worked in the radio industry or just was on TV, and I tried to reach out to them, and they really, I mean, they weren't cold to me, but they weren't willing to help either. And I just couldn't get anybody to say, hey man, come over here, I'll meet you here, I'll sit down and tell you whatever you need to know. I'll show you whatever, software you need to get out. I'll show you what, you know, laptop you need to get, or, what kind of, interface you need to get. And I'm a DJ. I know all about that stuff. So I know all about mixers and all that stuff. So I kind of knew on that aspect of it, but just to get people to come out and try and help, man, I tell you, and it's like, and the people, they look just like me and you, black. And I think overall, black people want to help you and see you do good, but they just don't want to see you do better than them. That's how, and that's how I feel about it. And we made one call to you, and you set up a date. You said, I'll meet you there, and you were right there on time. You got there before us, and you sat down there with us and had a long conversation with us for an hour and a half, or whatever that was there. And we didn't even get a chance to buy you any coffee. You just had your coffee when we got there, and you shared a lot of knowledge with us that we still use and cherish right now today.
Yes.
And I told y'all to spend $200. Don't forget that.
You did.
I told you. I'm very, when it comes to this, I tell people now, over the years I have invested, because I think since then I've moved into my own studio. I think back then I was still doing it out of wherever I could. I was doing this at my mom's house. I was doing it at my other house. I was doing it in my bedroom. But at the same time, everything that I had could go in a bag. I was like, hey, listen, get you a good HP, get you a good microphone. I got a snowball mic, I got this mic and some headphones, and keep it under. And as you grow, and I say this to anyone that's on live that want to start a podcast or want to start anything, I don't have those feelings that I have to shelter information. I want to celebrate you if you surpass me, because you know what? If we get that, like you said, that mentality, that maybe it's people that you need to reach that I can't. There's people that I need to reach that you can't. So what happens is, if we was to reach the people, and one day you call back and say, hey, Kenya, I can't reach these people. They're doing this. How about you interview them? Guess what? We'll grow together. Absolutely. And it's all about growth. It's all about growth. I tell people all the time, the passion that I have and the drive that I have in this sometimes get me in trouble, because I'm so passionate till I want to help everybody, but everybody don't want your help. A lot of people want to crash and burn. A lot of people want to say, oh, let me make my own mistakes. Why? Mm-hmm. Why? Like you said, you guys went out and spent $10,000. I got a whole studio. I ain't spent $10,000 yet. I ain't spent $10,000 yet. Right. I ain't know what near $10,000, and my entire studio travels with me. I was just telling the young lady earlier today, I said, listen, you can go and do on the scene things with your iPhone. I think I have an XR. I have an XR, I think. What's this? Whichever one this is. And I actually have a tripod, my iPhone, and 2 microphones. I have a microphone I keep here and a microphone that's a handheld. And I go out and I do interviews on it. And if you watch my interviews, people are like, what are you using? I'm like a $30 headphone set.
Right.
So I wanted to help. I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't know where I got it from. I let you know, because I want to see people grow. I want to congratulate you. And I think that if we can inspire people to do that in this industry, we'll be able to make it. Because, podcasters make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But again, because people don't want to share the nuggets, we struggle.
Right.
Yes.
And it's enough money out there for everybody to make.
Yes.
Not just the Adams brothers, Wayne and Darrel, not just Kenya Wheeler. And not just the Breakfast Club. It's a lot. It's a lot of money out there to be made. You can't make it all. You can make a lot of it, but you can't make it all. You know, if maybe one day somebody will call us and say, hey D, hey Wayne, you know, can you help me get off the ground the podcast? Sure, man.
We'll be right there.
When you want us to come and help you.
Yep.
Don't do what we did. Don't waste money doing this, and don't waste money doing this and buying 3 backdrops, you know, and different sizes and one's too small. We did waste a lot of money, but you know what? We took those banners and we still use them.
Yes.
At smaller events, and if it's just one person that needs instead of 2, we don't need a wide banner like this in the backdrop, in the background here. We can use a small one for one person. But until we start learning how to help each other as Black people, I mean, that's why we're behind the 8 ball a lot of the times. We're not willing to help each other, and we need to get out of that. We need to reach out and and try to help that person that wants to be a small businessman or wants to be a podcaster or wants to be whatever, start a business. If you you got some knowledge, share it. Yeah. Share it, and not be that I got my own, you get your own, and I had to find out the hard way. You find out the hard way. That's not how we're gonna operate. I'm sorry.
And I'm so proud of you guys. But I'm gonna ask you this question: who has been your favorite interview? Now I know this. You really can't say that because people be like, "Oh, I thought I was your favorite." But who so far? And I think you guys been in business 2 years now. You guys celebrating 2 years, right?
At least 2 years.
Yep.
So 2 years. What was your favorite interview?
We had a few. For me, actually, one of my classmates named Andre Mobley, he was one, and we had a defense attorney. She's now a prosecutor named Lenora Green.
She's a public defender right now.
She was a public defender, and she came on our show. The public defender at the time, Help Me Howard, he fired her because she came on the show and told the truth about the office. So we interviewed the candidate who was running, which is the current DA of Broward County, named Harold Pryor. A good interview. And he came on, and I guess he, through relations or through relationships, he saw Lenora and he heard about what had happened when she came on our podcast. He hired her. She's a prosecutor now. So that shows you right there how God changed things for her. He turned something and this woman had 1 or 2 kids, and the guy fired her.
She has one daughter,
and he fired her. The public defender of Broward County fired her, and the new incoming guy, I mean, it was coordinated by them. The new coming, the guy name was Gordon Weeks, but he fired this lady for coming on the podcast talking about the troubles that she saw in her time in the office and what could have been better. So he fired her, but the good thing came out of it that the new elected Broward County state attorney, the first Black state attorney of Broward County, Harold Pryor, he hired her. So I'm proud. She was definitely one of the better ones. And I think also too, we interviewed the sheriff of Broward County. That was a lot of people did not like him. A lot of people got mad because we interviewed him.
Sheriff Tony.
You in this business here is it's not about popularity. Most of the time it's about views and clicks, and I mean whether people might want to admit it or not, but the guy had a message, and he was the first Black sheriff of Broward County. So yeah, we brought him on our podcast, and we will continue to bring him on in the future as long as he knows he's welcome on here anytime.
Anytime we reach out to Sheriff Tony, we reach out to his secretary or whatever, he always makes time to come and talk for us. He didn't pay us. He didn't come on. Nope. He didn't send us any money. He didn't promise us any jobs down at the sheriff's office or anything. I had a talk with Sheriff Tony, and I told him I didn't like the way that you were put into office by the governor. We, the people, voted for a sheriff here. We, the people, should have been the one to remove him. Even though I know, sadly, what happened out there in Parkland and Israel got caught up in that and everything. But if the people here in Broward County was so upset with Israel, let them vote him out of there. You don't go and undo what the people went to the polls to vote for, you know. And I didn't like the way DeSantis put him in there. And I told him that. But since he's been in there, he's done some nice things.
And he's done some bad things.
He's done some things, but it's a learning process. He's never been the sheriff before, and you learn as you go. Right. And he's done some nice things. He's cleaned up, some corruption and some corrupt cops. He's fired them, and through the judicial system, they've gotten their jobs back. Just one here just recently, I believe yesterday, just got his job back.
Was acquitted yesterday.
But you got to start holding these people accountable. But whenever we reached out to Sheriff Tony, he came on our podcast, and I know a lot of people out there may not like him, but that's their problem. That's their problem. But he anytime we reached out to him, he has always made time for Black media, and he always will come on our podcast whenever we call him. So we thank Sheriff Tony for making time to come on our podcast.
And who was your best interviewer?
I was going to say Ruby as well. Ruby, I mean, she really came on here, and she really, I mean, wow, she wowed us.
Yes, she really did.
On this podcast. And if you go on our YouTube, well, you can't see it, but if you go on there, she has the most views out of all the interviews that we've done in the past. She has the most views, and they keep going up. And Ruby is doing some good things down there, and in the prosecutor's office down there. She's an outstanding attorney. She's had a child. She was a single mother, raised her child. She's just doing, she's doing good things, and Ruby was one of my best interviews as well. And hopefully we'll get a chance to interview her again.
Well, let me say this too, Kenya. We try to get a lot of politicians on our show because the vote. This is the midterms right now. The people need to hear from the people they are going to vote for and trust in office.
Especially these judges too.
The judges. And let me say this: I'm Black. We reach out to a lot of Black politicians that's running right now, as far as Val Demings up in North Florida, a lot of local politicians right here in Broward County. For some reason, they won't come on here, but they will go and talk to the white media, but they will not come talk to Black media. And we're the ones that's getting out there and voting. And I'm the brother that's very tough on politicians, white, Black, especially the Black politicians, because I think, in my opinion, they have been pimping this community for years, and they think they can just come to a church, say a hymn, and every Black person is going to vote for them because
fried
they're
chicken
Black.
And our collard greens, and then get our vote, and then you don't see them again.
And that's it.
And guess what? I had the same problem. Not to cut you off, I have the same problem every time. Now, I'm not going to say all because I actually gave up. Because the last election, I was emailing, asking. I even had a politician out of Delray, which was the mayor, and I had her set up to do an interview on Tuesday. Mind you, I don't live where the studio is. I live miles away. I drove here, set up, and she was a no-show. I called her. I called the secretary. Oh, well, she had to go and do something else. Well, so my time is not valuable, because I'm small media, but you will go and do all the big media. Do you not understand that even though I may be a smaller platform, I may reach the masses because of the people that I'm connected to? A lot of time politicians, not all of them, let me not say all of y'all, because I don't need y'all coming for me. Right. A lot of politicians they will look at your numbers, your followers, because they have their PR do that and say they're not worth it because they don't have the followers and the people they need to, get the word out, not knowing that you're a voice and you're an influencer. No one understands that. No one understands that by small media. You're an influencer. You can influence people to. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know nobody on the ballot this time. I sat there and I called my grandma and said, "Who am I supposed to be voting for?" And I scribbled in what she told me. Ain't have a clue who the people was. And maybe that's bad. And again, most politicians, just like Fred said, they come to our churches, they make all these promises, they tell us what they're going to do, and after that, you don't see them no more until it's time for re-election. But that's our fault.
Right.
That's our fault.
And we're holding them accountable here. The Adams Brothers podcast are holding them accountable.
Yes, we are.
Accountable, Kenya. And right now, even here in Deerfield, our Commissioner Ben Preston, he represents District 2 here. He's a friend of our podcast. He comes on all the time whenever we ask him. Now, the white mayor, Bill Gans, and his cronies, and the city manager, they won't come on here for whatever reason. But they're so disconnected from the black community anyway. They're used to controlling the narrative up at City Hall, but they can't control it here on this show. So they won't come on this show, and they try to persuade others not to come on this show. And this was a good opportunity for them, which something they have never done, is reach out to the black community and really try to, become cohesive with us. And they won't do that. They look at us as adversarial, and they won't even come on the show. We invited them on, and like I say, here in Deerfield, all you have to do is agree with one of them, disagree with one of them, and they don't want to talk to you.
You're the bad guy.
We're the bad guy because we're holding them accountable, and they never had anything like this here in Deerfield. This is the first. Our show here, they had people in the past that was blogging and writing stuff. I did it, but they never had no one with a live podcast like this that's equal to them in a sense now. That's holding them accountable.
And they're always telling, right. And they tell, other politicians or, city officials not to talk to us because, be careful, but, they may get on there and, ask you some questions and, you might end up committing to this or committing to that. Yeah. Well, we're not here to trap anybody. We want transparency. We want transparency. And we need to be able to, know what our government officials are doing.
They're paid for by the taxpayers, and they won't even come talk to constituents. And they all the time saying, Kenya, that they represent this whole city, but they don't. That's a lie. And that has always been a lie to black people. And black people need to realize that their only interest is in their white areas. They can care less about this district and the people here. But you got me and my brother has been calling them out, writing emails, calling them out on something that we see that is a big expenditure. And they're not used to no one doing that. They're used to people coming up there calling them a racist. Well, I don't have to call them a racist because I don't know what's in their heart. But I know how to get to the truth of what I'm looking for. I know how to write up a public records request and get to the truth. And they know that. They know me and my brother know that. So they're afraid to even come on the show, So I don't, their media person, she tries to be slick too, and they're going to see one of these days what we were talking about and they're going to see. And they know we trying to do the right thing, and we're not trying to embarrass anyone up there or call really anyone out, but they know they're not playing fair. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Darrell talk. What got us so upset was when all the black businesses here, people with mobile food trucks was here finally during the pandemic, and it was the politicians, the white politicians that they seen a whole bunch of blacks with food trucks on Southwest 10th Street in Dixie. And so what they did, they went and tried to circumvent around what the state legislature had put in place to try to thwart all those black businesses. You used to see 5 or 6 food trucks out there. Now you might see one out there. And I called them out on that. And so they got mad with me personally, when I called them out on that.
I think it's really, they're really, you know, if they're upset with my brother, I'm his brother, so I get dragged into it. But we stand up for this community. You know, my our family has been here since 1927, and to see people out there during a pandemic trying to sell chicken and ribs, and to make an honest living out there, and they're being harassed. I'd rather see people selling chicken and ribs any day than crack and fentanyl and cocaine or whatever they're getting high on out there. There's street designer drugs and whatever this stuff is. I'd rather see them selling chicken and ribs and whatever they're selling sauce out there. Let these people make an honest living. Don't harass them and make it hard for them to try and make a living. And then it kind of forces them to go out and do something illegal. Yeah. You know,
they sent code enforcement at them.
Get your foot off of the neck, you know, and we that's what we do. We try to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
And they don't like, government don't like when you hold them accountable.
They don't like oversight, but especially 2 black men, you know, 2 intelligent black men.
And guess what? We're not going anywhere. We're gonna be here a long, long time. We're not going anywhere. And
I am so proud of y'all. I am so proud. But let me ask another question. What do you guys do interviews where you do on site, or you just do the podcast here where you are?
We've been doing it like this. We've been doing it like this because of the pandemic, COVID. A lot of people don't want to, to get close to them or whatever. And so we've been doing it remotely. Yeah. You know, they're at one location, we're here. But when COVID allows us, when this pandemic eases up and starts, the numbers start going down, we could go out and we could start interviewing people in person and, and doing some of this video editing and stuff like that we want to get into. So yeah, in the future, we will be going out and remotely. I mean, I shouldn't say remotely, but what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to be out. We're going to be out in mobile. Yes. And we're going to be out in the community, and we're not going nowhere, Kenya. We're not going nowhere.
And I hope you're not. So let me ask another question. I'm sorry, I got a bunch of questions.
No,
even though they won't come on the show, because it is it's hard for me to kind of do a show by myself because it's just me. I can get on here and talk for days because I am a talker. But do you guys have let me tell you, you guys are just so into politics. I am not into politics. I have to hang around you guys a little more and kind of just get it into it like you, so that I can do politics. Do you guys just have a podcast where you talk about what's going on in the community, just you two alone? Or is most of your interviews with someone else? Do you guys just have a discussion to discuss things, to enlighten us on what's going on? Or is it just you interview people?
Yeah, well, we interview people, but that is in the plan. We've been talking about that, getting some people to come on, some, people that's in the know to come on and talk about politics in the future, especially, like I say, these are the midterms. But, we've been focusing on politics now because I think now is a very important time that Black people know who they are voting for. But we emphasize a lot on Black businesses. We have had plenty of Black business people. We focus on whatever is Black, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Some people might not feel that we shouldn't say Black, but I'm Black. I'm Black first. So like I say, we focus on politicians. We focus on Black business, anything that can empower our community here in Deerfield and beyond, Boca, Delray, Fort Lauderdale,
Tri-County area, South Florida, Florida.
We will interview you if we feel like it's better for the community, that can help the community or can give the community some type of knowledge, we'll do it. It's just not politics. I want to be clear on that.
And when we interview these candidates and politicians and people who want to be in politics, we go out there and we interview these people and we post the videos and we're trying to educate the public on who to vote for.
Yes.
Because if you ever get arrested and you go down there to the county court down there, you don't know who these judges are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who you're going to go down there. You might be voting for somebody who doesn't see, you just that thinks totally different from you. They won't come on this show and tell you, oh no, I think just like I don't. They think differently than what you do, or you do. And when you go down there in front of those judges, again, you have to know who you're voting for, because on that ballot, it's only going to say, should you retain this judge, or should you retain that judge and this judge. It doesn't tell you
their background.
Their background. You have to do that work yourself. You have to do your homework on these candidates, and that's why we interview these judges, especially these judges.
Yes.
And we put them out there. We put the information out there. All they have to do is just hit the play button and sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
We try our best to interview these candidates and let people know who they are, and we ask tough questions, and we don't give out questions prior to anybody coming on this show. So if you want to come on this show, you think we're going to give you the questions and you can be coached on what to say and this and that, that's not going to happen. You don't even come on this show. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that a lot of times people, and I see a lot of people that think that voting for the president is just the end. A lot of times I hear people complain about things, and I say, well, it's actually your fault. Mm-hmm. And they're like, why? I'm like, you're not voting. Why do you vote for the president? That just had nothing. Listen, the president really ain't got nothing to do with me. I need to start at home, because guess what? They're building alleys. They're not cleaning up stuff. The city's not doing this. The state's not doing this. It starts at home first.
Yeah, and politics are local.
Correct. And, don't complain about things when you're not taking care of home first. Yes, we want to make sure our president, but if you're not dealing with what's going on locally, if you're not getting out here figuring out who's going to be over this district, who's going to be over that district, who's going to be over this, and then we're complaining. When people start complaining to me, I say, listen, one thing my parental unit gonna do, because my ballot still goes, she says, that ballot came. And I said, okay, the ballot came. We're gonna sit down and go over that ballot. Mm-hmm. We're gonna sit down and go over that ballot, because people don't understand that voting for the president because you're trying to get this president out, I get this president in, is really not helping us. That's why so many things are done and we're complaining. They put an alley behind our house and they flopping down the alley. Well, we're voting as a person, but what about everybody else that need to be voting and making sure that the mayor is not crooked, right, or the people are not going on, and everybody's complaining about all the stuff that's happening in their neighborhood, mm-hmm, but did you get out and vote?
Right.
Did you go out there and let your voice be heard? Because that one vote may be the reason why the person that's going to help us does not get into the chair. That one vote that you didn't do. So again, just like Jonathan Chosen Thomas, I'm just going to call him Pastor Thomas, because Jonathan Chosen Thomas, that's a lot to say. Pastor Thomas is running in his area. He's in Hollywood or Dania. I'm not sure, Pastor, whichever area you're in. And again, do people understand what he's doing, how he's trying to help the community? No.
He's welcome to come on our podcast. He's welcome to come on anytime. I'm
trying to get him on mine first. I've been trying to get him on mine for the last.
He's in Dania Beach.
He's in Dania Beach.
Yes.
I've been trying to get him on mine. So, we want to help him because he has a passion in this area. He's a pastor. He's a father. Again, he's doing the best he can. I watch him, and I paid so much attention to him. I watch him grow up. I'm not that much older than him, but I'm older than him, and I see the passion and drive that he has.
Right.
And I think that a lot of voices aren't heard because no one's giving the smaller man the platform.
That's right. Yeah. And we're trying to give people a platform to come on here and talk talk to us and tell the people, the voter people that's ultimately going to vote for them here in Broward County or whatever city you're in this Tri-County area. You need to tell the people, what your vision is and what what you want to do for your county, your city. I mean, you need to come out and you need to talk to the people and keep them informed on what you're trying to do. And we try our best to do that and interview these candidates. And some of them are afraid to come on here and talk to us. We have one candidate. She's a female. For whatever reason, she makes up every excuse in the book. When it's time, when we invite her on the podcast, won't come. But she wants us to make a donation to her campaign, but you won't come on here and talk to us or make a donation to our podcast, but you want us to make a donation to your campaign. And I mean, come on. Isn't there something wrong with that picture there?
And I'll also add this. We also have a lovely young lady named Jamara Terra. She lives here in Deerfield and she works down to the Broward State Attorney's Office. Right. And she comes on, she has been on a few times and she's a friend and she's starting her own podcast. Right. But she has been on trying to inform this community about restoring their rights, getting their rights back. And being that she works in the office, we try to just, because a lot of people don't even know how to expunge their records. She taught us a lot of things when she came on that we didn't even know, that you couldn't do this. If you do this, you couldn't do that to get your record expunged. So yeah, Jamara Terra, she came on and she was very informative. We have had some very informative people come on the show. And as I said again, jumping back to the voting part, it's like most of the time you talk to a lot of these politicians, they're only going to talk about probably 2 or 3 things. And they're going to come on there talking about housing. They're going to come on there talking about like building up the community. What they can't tell you anything else. I'm talking about the incumbents. They can't really tell you any bill that they had passed, any legislation, any tangible piece of legislation they had passed. They can't tell you, but they sell Black people this trick pony every year. And I tell people all the time to vote. I think here in Florida, we need everyone we can to vote, but you gotta give Black people something that they feel like they have a reason to go and vote for, not this same old trick pony every year. Come out and vote for me. Look what I did. And you only see them during election time. After that, you don't see them. You'll know when it's election time because you go to seeing them come into your church and they're coming there with the 5-minute speech. And we have a lot of people within our community. Don't get me wrong. We have a lot of enemies within our community too, that are political pimps, I call them, that brings these people here in our community just for money. And they know they're not going to do anything for this community, but they're just, paying them. So, they come in there, they force them upon the people. But a lot of times, some of those same politicians will not come on this podcast. They will not come on there. They will give us the runaround, like Darrell said about the person. When we have not just one, we have a lot of people like that, Kenya, that we can ask them to come on, and we just ask them to come on, tell the people why you should be elected, and we don't hear from them. But they're in office right now, and I mean, it's a lot of them. And I'm calling the Black ones out because that's who I'm focusing on within our community, because I know a lot of them, have sold this community and other communities dreams for years, and they're just in there pretty much for a pension and healthcare benefits. Beyond that, they couldn't probably tell you 10 pieces of tangible legislation that was passed.
And they figured, they could come here and give Black people a turkey or a ham, and they're gonna get your vote. They come to your church again, and they eat your fried chicken, they eat your collard greens. They sing,
hymns, Negro hymns,
all the hymns that we sing in church, just want to praise you forever and ever. They learn a church song and they sing that song, get your vote. And then they get the city cell phone. They let it fill up with voice messages, so you can't leave them a message, and they won't talk to you. You know, I mean, that's just how they are. You know, we trying to break that cycle that they have going on out there, and we trying to reach out to these politicians. Val Demings, we reached out to her. Yep. Several times. I mean, South Florida is a Democratic stronghold.
And Miami. She needs
Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach County. We reached out to her 7 times. Do you know her campaign won't even call us back?
No. And she needs Broward,
but she needs to vote. But she won't call us back. You know, so Val Demings, if you're out there watching, Miss Demings, please call us. We'd like to talk to you to see, let the voters know exactly what you're going to be doing for us if you're elected. And Marco Rubio is going to be hard to unseat, and you need these votes down here in South Florida. So call us back and stop screening your calls or whatever your campaign is doing, and call us back. We won't be too hard on you.
You know, Marco Rubio. Most of the politicians that's already seated, they this is the way it works. It's called content and capitalization. So if you look at public relations, it's content and capitalization. So they hire the best PR they can because they want to stay where they are. And the way they do things is, and what we fail to realize, and I had to learn this until when I went to school for public relations, is that they capitalize off of everything. You ever notice that they can take a picture with everybody in your church and what they do is they post these pictures on their website. And when people go to look at their website, they're capitalizing off the Black community. And they're using that on all of their flyers. And they're saying, we reach out to all communities, and they're flashing all these pictures, not knowing because they're on Sunday morning, they're coming in and they're saying, hey guys, we're going to give a donation to the church for $100. And most pastors and mainly they go into storefront churches as well, because these are where the older community is at. And these are the people that's really voting. If you notice, the older community going to vote. The younger community don't care about nothing but TikTok. You know, unless you go on TikTok and talk about voting, they don't care nothing about nothing but liking and posting to TikTok. So they go into these storefront churches and these mega churches where they have the older community at, and they take pictures with the prominent people. They ask their pastors, hey, who? And the pastors are kind of slow. They don't get it. Who's the prominent? Who's been? Oh, and they're screening the pastors, and the pastors spilling everything. Oh, well, you know, Sister so-and-so, she's turning 100. And Sister Deacon so-and-so, he's one of the longest members of the church. They take a picture with them and they capitalize off that. So now, because they're on channel on a flyer, or they're sitting them on a bench and doing a commercial, all the family know is, oh, my granddaddy was on a commercial. Yeah. And that's the capitalization that they use on us. And I guess what? All we know is we're going to vote for him because they've hoodwinked our granddaddies and our uncles and our grandmamas. They're going to sit on the bench while they walk by and say, we love the people. And it flashes to the grandparent. And the grandparent don't really, you know, they don't know. They basically all they know is they sitting on the bench and they gonna get coffee. And this is the thing, and no one's there. I'm glad that my grandparents and my mothers and family are really up on what's going on. And but everybody's not that way. So we have to understand that we have to figure out a way to get into the minds and the spirits of the young people to say, hey, we need your vote. And I think that what you're doing is good. I know you guys do small business, but I think that the direction that you're going into is politics, that it will help us out. Because again, I just said to you, I'm telling the truth. When I voted the other day, I sat down Saturday to do my mail-in ballot. Yeah. I had to call somebody. Hey, Nana. She said, yes. I said, who am I supposed to vote for? She said, I'll call you right back. Let me go find my ballot. And she walked me through everything. I had no clue because I haven't been paying attention. Right. I've been living my own life and doing whatever. Right. And I don't know anyone on that ballot. I see some signs in the yard. Right. But how many people are like me that don't know, or they're going to vote because they don't want to get that letter in the mail stating that you haven't voted in this primary. So you just scribbling and not knowing that your vote counts.
And that's why they send out those sample ballots in the mail. A sample ballot is a blank ballot, and you can sit there and watch our videos or watch your videos, and you can see us interview these candidates and ask these candidates tough questions. And then you can sit there and say, okay, I like this guy. I like this lady here, and bubble in your ballot. And don't wait till the day of election, when the day of the election, and get in that booth there. You wouldn't believe how many calls we got last year with people at the polls calling us saying, who should I vote for? Right. I'm like, really? We've been putting out videos all year for you all to watch, and with interviews that we've interviewed these candidates. I mean, half an hour, 45 minutes, and all you got to do is sit there and watch it. And you still on election day, you don't know who to vote for, and you calling asking who to vote for? We gotta do better than this. We got to do better than this.
We even had Chris Smith on here, and he was an attorney. He owns a business down in Fort Lauderdale.
Smitty's.
Yeah,
Smitty's Sis Trump.
I think I seen his name on the ballot.
Yeah, well, he was in politics one time, and I think he was in the state, and I think he was in the Senate. And once he got term limited out, I think he just came back home and started running a business. But we had Chris Smith on here, and he was going down all those, because he's a lawyer, he's an attorney, and they have all that legal language which a lot of people don't understand. And so he came on here right at the 2020 election, and he explained, took about 10-15 minutes, and he explained all that legal language on there in 10 or 15 minutes, and yay or nay, and which was very informative.
Well, we have a gentleman here in Palm Beach. His name is Ray Whitley. I say his name wrong all the time. He talked real slow. He's a pastor here in South Florida. I just tagged him to see if he can come on. He literally goes into the churches and breaks down. He have, I think, about three of them, three different churches. He breaks down the ballot. He is so into that, and he also does so to the polls every year and make sure that everybody goes. So one thing about Ray Whiteley, I'm going to say this, in Palm Beach County, he is on top of it. He really, really, really pushes. And I think that's why a long time ago when I met him, I really got into local, because when I was younger, I was only doing president. I'm be honest with you. And I didn't understand it because I was 18, had this voter registration card, didn't understand the importance. All I know is I voted. All I know is I voted. And as I got older, I started understanding that, okay, well, I got to replace my front end because these potholes in the street ain't getting fixed. You know what I mean? Okay, so these things, so who needs to hear this? The city needs to hear it. Okay, so we need to basically talk to the city, but who do you talk to? The mayor needs to do this. Well, who put her in there? You did. Oh, I don't vote for the mayor. So as I got older, about 21, 22, I started understanding the importance of, I need to know who my mayor is. I need to know who my commissioner is. I need to know who over my neighborhood watch, because these are the things that are important. Everybody's leaving by the seat of their pants, tearing their cars up. Things are being done. They're building up buildings. We don't have a clue. All we know is we're doing it. And we're paying all this money, our tax dollars. They're going up on the water. They're going up on all this stuff. And we're complaining. If we put the complaining to work, we'll have this thing will be better. But the Black community, they just strive off of, I don't care, I got nothing to do with my house. It do, because that's why they eminent domained all y'all stuff. Yeah. That's why they're allowing everybody to come in and buy your house for below that. They'll buy your house, knock your house down, put two houses there, and have no lot line, and then you don't own your property. You never own your property because you don't have the knowledge base. Instead of saying, let me figure out how this works. And then they want to bamboozle you out all your stuff. Oh, I hate these people. Well, you know what? It's actually your fault. Because you're not getting into the politics to understand it. Not that deep in politics, but I know enough to know that sometimes these people are bad for us.
Right.
That's right.
Everybody's not good for us. And we have to come together. Y'all want to come together whenever they're saying, oh, something happened. Well, here's the problem. Y'all want to rally together when it's time to rally. Why we ain't at these polls like that?
Yeah.
You let something happen. You let
Yeah.
something go down right now. We all
right.
gonna put on shirts and want to throw our fists up and we want everybody fired.
Yeah.
If we could get the same turnout at the polls that we get at these rallies,
That's right.
guess what? Then you know what? We can have a lot to say. But a lot of things that we're talking about, we need to just shut up.
Yeah.
We're living in a dangerous state and a dangerous time in this country and here in the state of Florida. We have a white nationalist governor, and pretty much most of his cabinet and a lot of the politicians on both sides of the aisle. I'm not just going to demonize the Republicans. I mean, you have a lot of white nationalist minded Democrats in office too. I mean, you look at most of the laws, a lot of people can't understand why a lot of the laws, why police continually get acquitted. Well, a lot of those laws was written by a lot of those people in the Senate and in the House, and they're Republicans and Democrats. So that's one reason why we can never really get justice here in the state of Florida. And, I just think this governor, he wants to be the president. He's gonna keep doing everything he can. If you notice, it's like Florida can do one thing, or maybe Texas, and then you will see Georgia, then you will see North Carolina or South Carolina. It's like they all like in concert together in everything that they're doing. And when you hear him use these terms now, like thug, which means black people, you hear him use these other terms like woke, which means black people. They don't even want to teach American history, the real American history, the truth. They don't even they want to water it down. And, people just sitting back. I'm sitting back right now watching the South rise again. And I don't know if most people sitting here watching, maybe they don't care. Maybe they just out turning up and don't care. But when they look around again, I mean, they just banned loud music. That's a code word for black people there. Who do you think that's going to affect by them ticketing and arresting? That's going to be black people. That's a straight dog whistle. That's exactly what it is. And that's why I'm just saying, I think everyone needs to pay attention to what's going on. All that Democrat, Republican, I can care less about that, because all I want to know is what policy. I want to see the policy you're presenting. It doesn't, I'm a Democrat and my values are Democrat led. But like I say again, you have a lot of white nationalist minded Democrats out there just as well as these Republicans. All you have to do is watch them right in your community work. Just let something happen. Always ask them a question about whether they're going to choose, how they feel about the police and about funding the police and this and, and you'll get their real true feelings about the police. You'll find out that a lot of the laws crafted, they help craft it and they support it. And they support these racist police unions.
And we have to stop all this damn marching too. Every time something happens, the first thing we want to do is go out there and start marching. Nobody better not ever call me and tell me let's go march, because I'm hanging the phone up on them. First of all, if you're talking about going up to Tallahassee or going to Washington, D.C. to put some laws in place, and that's how you change things. Going out there holding hand, marching in line and marching up and down the road like it's 1969, that ain't gonna do nothing no more. I mean, come on, we way past that. If you want to do something, go up and introduce some legislation that can be put into law. That's how you change things around here. Not all this. Stop all this marching and stuff around here. Nobody better not ever call me talking about marching. I'm not gonna march nowhere. I hang the phone up on them.
And they want black people to pray all our problems away. I go to church. Me and Darrell work in the church doing the technology. We're in church every Sunday. We're in church, matter of fact, more than most people who say they are diehard Christians. We're in there every Sunday, and through the pandemic, we were there. So, but they want black people to judge. black people just been told for the last 50 or 60 years to just keep praying. And I believe in praying. Prayer works for me.
Yes, it does.
But we got to get beyond prayer, and we need to do action.
What's that Bible
action
quote?
Need to go
prayer
with
without action is what? I forget what it was.
Prayer faith without works is dead.
Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
Oh, God. Yeah, listen, I love y'all. I know I told y'all 20 minutes, but I told y'all I wasn't putting nobody behind y'all because I know
when we start talking,
what it was. It is. But listen, I want to give a shout out to Ray Whitley. I keep saying his name, Ray. If I said your name wrong, please forgive me.
Yeah,
it's Ray. I'm gonna just call you Ray. Ray, I love you. He put his number here, and like I said, I've learned so much from him. He's another reason why I am so into. He called me every year. He says, "Kenya, I'm having this event. I need you to be a part of it." And I always make sure that I'm a part of all his events because he educates me and he tells me what's going on. And again, he helps the community with voting and who we need to vote and who we don't need to vote for and what to get. So again, I want to send a shout out to Ray from Palm Beach County because he helped us not only with local, but he does it, especially during the president. And he does so much. So Ray, I want to commend you. I know he was on my last award show last year. He was my lifetime achievement winner because the man is the bomb. He's just like you guys. You guys got to get him on your show, because I would love that conversation.
I see his number popping up on that screen. We're definitely gonna reach out to him.
Definitely. And everybody's loving the conversation. If you guys are loving the conversation tonight with the Adam Brothers podcast, you guys throw up some hearts for them because this is something that maybe I have to bring you back to go over the so let me ask you a question. The ballot that's out now. Have you guys voted yet, or you guys did the mail-in?
No. I haven't received my ballot yet in the mail, but
I go to the polls and vote.
Yeah.
I never did the mail-in, but
sample ballot, I should say.
I would say if we can't make it to the polls, vote by mail. But the rules have changed now because these Republicans saw what happened in 2020. But I would encourage everyone to vote by mail if they can, and just a lot of things you can't do with the ballots this year. You can't give your ballot to someone else. They call that ballot harvesting. You have to take the ballot there yourself. So people just have to be aware of doing their ballots by mail because, believe me, they're looking for a reason to throw them out.
Yeah, because we went over to Delray and we really took our ballot because I don't know what I heard on the news, and it said that if you didn't have your ballot in by Monday night, it was the end. And I went there, lady was like, "Man, I don't know what you heard." I said, "All I know is I needed my vote to count." And she was like, "No worry, that was something else you heard." So I did do my ballot again. I called my Nana. I was like, "Nana," she said, "I'll call you back in." I said, "I don't know these people," and she said, "Don't worry about it, baby, because and then you got Gammy. She's screaming at me. She said, "I need you to vote before you leave here, because if you leave here, I don't know when you'll be back." So I sat to the table and I did it. I called my grandma. She said, "This is who you need to vote for." And she took her time and broke down and told me why I voted for these people. There's some people that are older that will lead you in the right way. So if you don't know, call these old people because they be researching. Yep. These old people look at the news, CNN all day. They ain't got nothing to do. See, that's what they said. They said that money was, but when we took it, they told me that wasn't. That's what see, when I went there, they told me it wasn't. And I knew I heard that it was early voting was over Monday, but we had it down Monday. So I'm safe. So again, I need everybody to get out and vote. It's so important that we do this. And I want to thank you. So let me ask you a question. What days do you do your show?
Well, we schedule whenever we could get. We usually podcast in the evenings around 5 p.m. And it depends on whoever we're trying to get in contact with, whatever their schedule is. We kind of a little bit flexible. So
we work with them.
We kind of work with them, but it's usually in the evenings, and we'll even podcast on a Saturday. We don't really care. If we could get a hold of Michael Jordan, we'll interview him.
That's right.
We could get a hold of whoever. It doesn't matter. We can get President Biden on here. You know, Trump. I'd love to talk to him.
Exactly.
We'll talk to anybody. And there's our YouTube channel. Thanks for putting that up there, right. Kenya. We appreciate it. You could, if you don't follow us, the best way you can follow us is go on to our YouTube channel, Adams Brothers Podcast. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and share our videos. Hit the bell, and you'll get notified every time we upload a video. And just follow us, and we promise we won't let you down. We're gonna keep on putting these podcasts out there.
And I am so blessed to have you guys. Again, if you listen, I just smashed the like button. I don't know why I don't really like the podcast. So listen, they got their videos. Subscribe to the channel, the Adams Brothers Podcast. Let's build the numbers up, guys. Yeah, I am a number person. I believe in numbers. I'm hosting a show this Saturday because I'm starting to understand. Well, social media has completely changed over the last couple of weeks. Everything has changed from Facebook, TikTok, everything, YouTube. They all have new algorithms, and I'm hosting a up and close and personal class on Saturday at Boynton Beach Worship Center. I don't have the flyer up. What is you doing? But it's Boynton Beach Worship Center in Boynton Beach on 12th Avenue, and I'll be doing a class for anyone that likes introduction to social media. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want to be able to help the churches, organization, and people that are into social media understanding the verbiage. Because if I say to you algorithm, you'd be like, what is that? Yeah. You know what I mean? So you may know what it is, but everyone else doesn't. There's so many different softwares and things that can help you so that I can educate you. And everybody's been asking me to do it. And I've been putting it off because I've been worried about everything else. So I said this week, I'm going to do it so that we can understand that the best way to promote your business is TikTok. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just going to give you
that's hot right now. TikTok is on fire right now.
It's TikTok. Right understand now. That when Facebook started 9 years ago, in 2006, then in 2009, they went public to where everyone can do it, but they didn't reach 1 billion until 2020. TikTok, in 2 years that they've been existing, is now surpassed Facebook. They're in the billions. And people don't understand the importance that they are now paying you to stay on the platform. Right. So Fran asks over and over again for about the last 6 months. So Fran, if I don't see you Saturday, I'm gonna be very mad because you asked for this and I'm doing it. So again, I love the fact that you guys came on. I really appreciate you. I'm sorry it took so long to get you here. It should have been happy because, like you said, I was the one that told you guys how to do it. So why haven't I did it? Y'all be mad at me because I should have been there.
No, we're not mad. We're very open. We tell everybody that, Kenya C. Wheeler, she was the first one that sat down with us and gave us that knowledge and pointed us in the right direction,
we appreciate that.
Where to go buy things and not to overspend and start here. You don't want to have too much overhead and this and that. You were the first person to do that, and we really, really appreciate that. And, for all the people that didn't want to help us, hey, man,
God bless you.
God bless you. There's no hard feelings, but just watch us take off. Just sit back and watch.
Let me answer the question. It's for everybody. It's actually not for churches. It's for everyone. I'm just using the church because that's the building that I was able to get.
Right.
But it's not for just churches. It's for everyone. So what happens is with social media, it actually intertwines with churches and business. Right. It's the same thing. The only thing with churches and business is that you're geared towards the church. The churches and business artists, everything is the same thing when you use a page. That's why I spoke to someone earlier today and I said, you have to I am Miss Kenya, the CEO on everything. I am Miss Kenya, the CEO. I am Kenya C. Will across everything. The platform is not going to change. Like they are the Adam Brother Podcast. That's everything that they have. And it's important to be set up that way So I just wanted to answer that question. But and again, the Adams brothers are still learning from me because when they called me today and I started showing them to do something, it was like,
absolutely.
Like that.
You know, you were showing us again. You were showing you know, and we're not even ashamed to say it. You know, it's things we're still learning. It's trial and error.
Yeah.
We're finding out a lot of things as we go. We're not perfect. If people may sit out there and look at us and say, you know, they look real smooth behind the cameras or whatever. I don't know what they're saying, but it's a lot of things that we still trying to learn and we struggle with, and we'll get better. But
we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're gonna get there. Trust me.
You're doing good. I'm gonna give y'all a nugget. Everybody in the business, listen. Y'all still could do interviews right now, even though it's the pandemic. The 6 feet rule. You get you some microphones. And you stand 6 feet away, get you a good iPhone, separate yourself from them, and just you put on that microphone. They have the 3 lapels. They put on the lapel, place the lapel with your mask on, make them stand over there, and you can interview them from a distance. Still get out there and get it.
Absolutely.
I still get out there and get it.
Absolutely.
I still go out here in the world and get it. And I know that, and I just want to say this, a lot of people are saying, hey, Kenya, everything's cranking back up. That's why we have to be very careful. Because we don't want to be, I've never, knock on glass and wood, I have not had COVID, but I don't want to get it. And I don't want to give it to anyone because I'm always around older people.
Right.
But there's a way to basically, that's for anyone that I think looking at it going to the podcast and an interview. I suggest you do it because now is the time. There's enough people out here that you can interview. When people call me and say, I'm starting a podcast, I don't get mad. I be like, what you need from me? What you need me to tell you? I want to use Zoom. I'm not familiar with Zoom. I'm not heavy on Zoom. I'm not a fan of Zoom. But if that's what you want to use, hey, you do it. I will push you to here where I'm at now, which is StreamYard, because there's a lot of bells and whistles that you can use that you can for podcasts. But like you said, I love the fact that you as a whole would be able to help other people get into business.
That's right.
I'm not going to be the first and I'm not going to be the last. They're not going to be the first and they're not going to be the last.
Definitely not.
But we can all grow together. We can all learn from each other. Because I sure want to know how to have my mic sound like that. I want my mics to sound. I need my mics to sound like that because those mics sound good. So
road mics, and we're going through the system here. So hey, we, anytime you want to get with us, man, we'll send you some pictures, some literature, whatever, man.
I got a studio. You can stop by and hook it up. Y'all can.
Yeah. I know that.
Y'all
DJ
can stop by.
stuff,
yeah, y'all can stop by. I got a studio. Y'all can stop by and hook it up for me. But listen, I want to say I thank you. I done held y'all hostage for over an hour and 20 minutes. I want to say I apologize because I did say 20 to 30. But the conversation was really good and everybody was engaging. And that's what's important. When you got people engaging, I'm not going to just end the show. Listen, I need you guys to do me a favor in the chat. Throw up some hearts if you enjoyed the Adams Brother podcast. Go over and subscribe. You guys are on Facebook, right? The Adams Brothers Podcast on Facebook.
Adams Brothers Podcast on Facebook.
Go to Adams Brothers Podcast on Facebook. Follow them on all social media outlets. I need you guys to subscribe to their YouTube. Right now, they got 119. I need everybody that's on the live and on the replay. Now, I'm streaming on 8 channels. I'm streaming on Facebook, my Facebook groups. I'm streaming on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube on the Hot Topics Pop-Up Show. I'm streaming on all of that. So everybody that's tuned in everywhere, I need you guys to go and subscribe to the Adams Brother Podcast. That is what it. That's what it looked like.
That's what it looks like. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash them, hit that bell so you'll get notified every time we upload a video. And if you have your cell phone in your hand right now, just go right there to the Adams Brothers Podcast and like our channel and share our videos. That's the best way you can help us is share our videos and make and comment. And that's what YouTube likes. They like that. So
and like engagement. People
engagement.
don't understand this is called social media for something.
Right.
It's not called look at me while I work and you just look at me. It's called social. They want you to be social. But anyway, I'm getting ready to let you guys go. I want to thank you so much. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Everybody saying done. Come on, y'all. Y'all better do it. Y'all better go.
Thank you so very much for having us on your show. The pop-up.
Wait, so he brought applause to my show. How you gonna cut on applause? He using applause. Get off my platform. He done brought his own applause.
We had to give you some applause because again, without you, there wouldn't be us right here where we are today. So we had to give you some applause on that.
I'm gonna get me some applause. I'll be calling y'all because I want me some applause on my show too. So listen, guys, thank you guys so much. I love you. I'll see you. I'll be calling you guys so that we can connect and also talk more about politics. And if you guys need me and my platform, like I said, we can always use my platform to bring whoever else you want, because I can pull myself out while you guys interview someone if you want to use mine, as well. So,
and if you ever want to bring us on, like if you got some politicians, if you want to bring us on, likewise,
give us a call. We'll be more than happy to talk to them.
Do it, because we got the questions for them and we know what to ask for and what to look for. But thank you again for having us on.
Thank you. I love you guys, and I'll holler at you guys later. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Listen, did y'all not enjoy that tonight? I did. I am so into politics as of right now. So listen, I need you guys to again subscribe and like their page. Again, the Adam Brothers Podcast. I want to thank them so much for coming on and hanging out with me. I know I said it's okay. I ain't in a rush today, so it's all good. So listen, I need you guys to do me a favor too. So listen, August the 1st. I know I said the 15th, but so much was going on in my real life till I wasn't able to do it. But now I am. I'm more focused. I'm more tunnel vision. August the 1st, the nominees will be on the website, which is www.krtgradio.com. The nominees will be on for the Praise and Worship Community Church and Community Business Awards, right? So nominate. I need you guys to nominate. I'm going to be screaming this between now and then. Nominate. Oh, come on, Dr. Gillis. www.krtgradio.com. I need you guys. Let me see if I can find the flyer real quick. My cousin Tina is just talking about post the flyer. Tina, you know what? I wasn't going to talk about it, but I need you guys to get ready to nominate. Everybody knows I host an award show every year. It is outdoors. This year we're going to have it at New Jerusalem Church of God in Christ. It's going to be outside. I believe being outside the four walls. Everybody was saying, hey, can you do it in the church? I don't like the church atmosphere inside. I want to continue to do it the way I'm doing it, which is outside of the four walls, so that we can be able to reach outside for the masses. When you do that, everybody riding by will be able to see what you have going on. So that's why I like to have everything outside. So again, we will be hosting our event. It will be in February, just to give you guys a sneak peek. It will be February the 11th, and it'll be hosted by Gerard Holmes this year. This is the first time that I've ever had anyone besides, there's a flyer, but let's get social. So I'm gonna leave that up while I talk. So this is the first time I've ever had anyone outside of Kareem to host my event, but he will be hosting this year, Gerard. So again, let's get social this Saturday. It will be at Boynton Beach Worship Center. Listen, I just want to tell y'all this. Y'all will not be hungry because y'all could go outside on lunch break. Let me touch my neighbor and take this down. Y'all could go outside on lunch break because we're going to lunch at 12 o'clock, like 12:30, and y'all can buy ribs and chicken from the church people. I need y'all to buy the ribs and chicken because they only do it because I asked them to. So y'all could go outside, have y'all lunch, come back in, and we can finish up having a great time and educating ourselves on lesbian social. So again, Boynton Beach Worship Center, they will have food for sale so that you guys can come and don't be hungry. So again, 10 to 2 on Saturday for businesses, churches, organization, This is intro to social media. We're going to do more later, but right now this is intro to social media. I gotta go. I've been on here like an hour and a half. I gotta go. I love y'all, and I want to thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. And again, this your girl, Miss Kenya, the CEO. I appreciate you. We're gonna get some more hot topics going because I see y'all like hot topics, huh?